2 days, 2 seasons.
Near 90 today to near freezing tomorrow. Temps are already dropping fast as we get ready for a wild weather ride.
From graduations and concerts.
At least we'll be indoors and we won't be freezing.
To the trees in your yard.
So I suppose tomorrow everything will look all bent over.
We're getting you ready for a blast of winter weather.
Denver Police.
Recruiting women into law enforcement.
Men and women are definitely different. I think that we all are here for the same reasons.
The new push to boost the number of female officers in a big way.
It's an issue grabbing the attention of Coloradans, the deaths of wild horses at a BLM holding facility.
When they do a roundup, they don't pay attention to genetics at all.
Tonight, we're going 360 in-depth, sharing your thoughts on Colorado's wild horse crisis.
And good evening to you and welcome to May in Colorado. And yes, we are preparing for snow.
A lot of snow and a dizzying drop in temperatures.
Today, temps in Metro reached nearly 90. Tomorrow, we'll be lucky to reach half that.
All right, let's get to our chief meteorologist, Mike Nelson, our tour guide on this spring weather adventure. Mike?
Well, let's start our journey by looking at the highs today. 88 in Denver, 90 at Burlington, 92 degrees at Pueblo. But the current readings have certainly dropped sharply. 45 at the top of the hour here in Denver. It's 34 up at Cheyenne, while it's still in the 70s down to the south where the cold front has not yet moved through. You want to watch a cold front? Look at this time lapse and you'll see the low clouds come in right about here. Boom, going through there. That was that front moving through with blowing dust, gusting up to about 45 miles per hour. There is the front now pushing southward. Here are the warnings in effect. And we still have the winter weather advisories to the east and to the west, and we are right in the middle of the winter storm warning in the Denver area, Boulder, up to Fort Collins as well, and a freeze warning is in effect for northwest Colorado. So here are the headlines. The colder winds whip tonight as pushing the front south. Rain to snow tomorrow. Heavy snow late tomorrow and tomorrow night. Elevations above 6,000 feet. We'll get a few inches down here in town as well. And sub-freezing temperatures in the metro area both Saturday and Sunday morning.
All right, thank you, Mike. And heavy snow can mean power outages. Xcel says crews are on standby right now to respond to any service outages, and you can report any outage to Xcel by texting the word out or stat to 98936, or you can call the 800 number there on your screen, or if you'd like, you can report it through Xcel's website.
And many times power outages during snowstorms are caused by falling tree branches. To prevent branches from taking out power lines or even worse, your home, ideally you should trim them before the storm arrives. And if you haven't been able to get out there, there are things you can do as the snow starts falling.
On a tree like this size, I mean, with like a long broomstick or something, you can do a pretty good job shaking off excessive weight or even shaking the trunk of the tree enough to drop snow off. And so that can help preserve not having breakage.
For more advice on protecting your trees and plants from winter weather, you can head over to thedenverchannel.com.
And tomorrow's weather already impacting flights at DIA. According to FlightAware, 157 flights tomorrow have already been canceled and one has been delayed. And many people flying to DIA this week are coming in for graduation.
And typically schools can hold their graduation ceremonies outdoors without any issues. But as Denver 7 CB Cotton shows us, the cold and snow have schools scrambling to find backup plans.
The decorations are here. And Sue Ewig says things for her daughter's high school graduation party continue to go as planned.
I mean, I'm super proud. She has made the best of her 4 years at Monarch, even despite the COVID.
But graduation day is a different story.
With the weather, it just wasn't really doable.
It's heavy, wet snow across most of the metro.
With Friday's expected snow, Boulder Valley School District has made changes to 5 high school graduation ceremonies. Ewig's daughter's Monarch High School commencement was moved up a day and to a new venue, the First Bank Center.
At least we'll be indoors and we won't be freezing and soaking wet.
The district said it's disappointed that changes could keep some from attending.
I heard about a family today that I know and their daughter's graduating. Her dad has to work tomorrow. He's a pharmacist, and her mom will be traveling home from her job tomorrow. So they will actually miss graduation. I don't even know if they'll be able to catch the live stream. So it's disappointing for sure.
Jeffco Schools also making changes. At least 2 of its ceremonies at Red Rocks have moved indoors to Denver Coliseum.
These kids in this town have really been through it this year with the Marshall Fire and prior to that with COVID, and they've come through it with grace. And I feel like graduation being moved is just another it's a disappointment, but it's another opportunity for them to show their resilience.
CB Cotton, Denver 7.
And it's also a big weekend for high school sports. The Colorado High School Athletics Association says the final day of the state track meet in Lakewood will be moved to Sunday if need be. The semifinal round of the girls and boys lacrosse tournaments have already been moved to Sunday and Monday, respectively.
And the Luke Combs concert at Empower Field Saturday night, it's still on. And it doesn't seem as if the country star has any plans to cancel. Combs tweeted last night, "I got the coats all packed up. The show must go on." Empower Field does say that field will be covered.
And CDOT says crews are on full snow shift ahead of the storm. They say the warm pavement, though, will probably turn the snow into heavy slush, particularly on the I-70 mountain corridor. In fact, this is a live look from a CDOT camera in that area. And CDOT tonight's asking drivers, plan ahead, maybe just avoid driving at all. Also, make sure you have the right tires, even in May. And of course, give those plows their space.
And this fresh round of snow will likely have hardcore skiers flocking to the mountains one last time. You will, though, need to be on alert for avalanches. The Avalanche Information Center says the risk in the northern mountains will rise to considerable on Saturday. That's the third highest threat level and can mean dangerous avalanche conditions. In the central mountains, the threat will rise to moderate, meaning heightened conditions, and the threat in the southern mountains will stay low.
Unfortunately, snow will not be following in the areas where fire crews are battling wildfires. That includes a new fire tonight, forcing evacuations near Montrose out west. No word on how big that one is yet. It also will not bring any relief to crews fighting the 700-acre Plumtaw fire north of Pagosa Springs. That fire is at 0% containment.
So from winter weather to wildfires, our Denver 7 morning team will have everything you need to know before you head out the door. Denver 7 News Mornings begins tomorrow morning, bright and early at 4:30 a.m. Women make up half our country's population, but when it comes to law enforcement, representation is nowhere close.
That's right. Consider these numbers. There were more than 800,000 sworn officers in the U.S. in 2021. According to the 3030 Project, just 12% of them were women and only 3% in leadership.
Tonight, Denver 7's Colette Bordelon takes us inside a push to change those numbers in a big way.
We're going to go right over here.
Another day at work.
Sergeants are first to arrive, last to leave.
And another day in a career that's lasted 25 years.
I remember that first day when I first drove out of the parking lot.
The Boulder Police Department is where Sergeant Christy Peterson always wanted to be.
As females, we have to police differently.
Research suggests women use less excessive force, are named in fewer complaints, and are seen by communities as being more honest and compassionate.
Overall, we've had to really prove that we belong in this job.
Just over 20% of Boulder police officers are women. That's higher than the national average.
It's kind of funny, but I was like, I literally had to Google how to become a police officer.
From not knowing where to start to feeling like she's found her home, Detective Andrea Tuck knows this is the career she was meant for.
I'm gonna be real, it can be very frightening, it can be exciting, and it can be comforting.
The Boulder Police Department is one of many across the country, taking a pledge to increase the number of women in police recruit classes 30% by the year 2030.
Sprint drag carry.
It's a goal shared by the Denver Police Department, where at the academy, over a third of this recruit class are women.
So we call these scenarios.
Two of them,
Denver Police, is there anyone inside?
are Giselle Justo Santiago.
There's that stereotype that sometimes women can be a little too soft.
And Kelly Goodwin. This is a place where we can be successful regardless of our sex. And one of those who helped pave the way.
That was when I was a brand new police officer.
Is Deputy Chief Barb Archer.
He reached out to me and said, "I'd like you to be the deputy chief." And I went, "Are you sure?"
Now, women make up more than 15% of the department.
It's not just about putting people in jail, it's also about helping people in need.
And when looking to the future of both departments, there's a shared feeling for the past two.
I think pride, mostly, and just wanting to do the right thing.
Knowing the work they've put in will pay off for those who come next. Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
The deaths of wild horses striking a nerve with Coloradans.
These horses are majestic animals.
The BLM and horse advocates squaring off over roundups.
When we make decisions, we have to look at the entire picture.
After the break, we're taking a 360 in-depth look at Colorado's wild horse crisis.
And the Avs try to take a 2-game lead over St. Louis.